There is no more tragic and auspicious day in the Jewish calendar than that of the 9th of the month of Av, the date of the destruction of the Second Temple period 2,000 years ago, and the First Temple, the temple from the Bible, 2,600 years ago. My name is Doron Spielman, and welcome to our exploration of the destruction of the First Temple period in Jerusalem. The Givati parking lot, the excavation that revealed more than 11 layers of civilizations, ranging from the recent Muslim period all the way back in time from the Crusaders, back into the Byzantine period, all the way down to the Second Temple period, and eventually, as we descend more than 40 feet underneath the ground, deep into the biblical layer, back in time more than 2,500 years, to see the destruction of the First Temple. And here we are with Professor Yuval Gadot from Tel Aviv University and Dr. Yiftach Shalev from the Israel Antiquities Authority, the two world-renowned archaeologists who are responsible for bringing the discoveries in the Givati parking lot to life.
You can see that I'm standing right now inside of the room, standing on the actual floor of that building. And you can see that the room was perfectly preserved for 2.5 meters. And it was preserved this way because we found it filled with debris. On the floor, we found remains of the vessel people were using during that time that were left in the house when it was destructed. And also some indication for the activities that happened here. For example, we found here a bulla, a small stamp seal that mentioned a name. And the name was Lenatan Melech Eved HaMelech, Natan Melech, servant of the king. Servant not as we find it today, poor person who need to serve food, but a minister, a high degree person serving in the temple. And that name, Natan Melech, is also mentioned in the Bible as a minister at the court of Josiah.
So here, if we open up the biblical pages, you're saying in the time period of Josiah, either some type of royal servants or ministers of the king would have been here, Yiftach, working, and then later on the Babylonians came through and destroyed this?
Exactly. We're now at the royal neighborhood of Jerusalem, if you want. We archaeologists found similar houses in other places around the city of David. Not as big as this house, by the way. This is one of the biggest and most preserved one. But yeah, this is where people lived during these days.
So we heard from Dr. Shalev about this incredible royal room where ministers are living. Professor Gadot, would you please explain to us?
And you can see here the stones. All of these stones are the stones of the upper floors that collapsed inward. Okay, so this is already part of this 586 collapse. But we know for certain that this place burnt. And why do we know that? This is because of what we're trying to preserve here. First of all, the ashes, okay? Simply the ash. Okay, that's the burning of the building in 586 BCE.
That is the ash of the destruction of the time period of the First Temple.
Exactly.
So when Jews have been fasting for however many thousands of years on the 9th of Av,
yeah,
this is the actual ash.
This is the actual ash. Okay, and you can see the pottery sherds. These were probably complete vessels that were standing on shelves or something like that. And when the second floor collapsed and everything collapsed down, they broke down and physically are scattered here now. And you can see them more in the section. All of that will be excavated in the future, we hope.
I want to thank you both so very much. This is so moving. There are 4 billion people in the world that can trace their history back to Jerusalem. And thank you both so much for what you do, and also for sharing it with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Please stay tuned. We'll continue sharing this with you as new research unravels and reveals what happened in this incredible place.
The city of David, where it all began.